Stop fake work and identify your number one thing. Most people are addicted to the feeling of being busy, but they're actually standing still, not making any meaningful progress whatsoever. You work 10-hour days, you clear your email inbox, you say yes to every opportunity, but your income and skills are not where you want it to be. 99% of the time, this is because you're drowning in maintenance mode. But what if you could use AI to finally get clarity, to identify the one thing that actually matters? Today, I'm going to give you my clarity prompt chain. I used this exact prompt chain earlier in 2025 to realize I was spending 50% of my time on tasks that generated near 0% of my growth. By the end of this tutorial, you'll have the objective truth about where your time should go. And for this to work best, make sure AI knows who you are. So if you haven't yet, follow my earlier tutorial to build your AI second brain. By the way, my name's Sabrina Romanov, and I teach millions of people AI for free after selling my own AI startup for millions of dollars. So make sure you hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment on this video. Okay, let's dive in. The first thing you're going to do is open the AI tool that you use most frequently, the one that knows you best. For some of you, that may be ChatGPT. For others, it may be Gemini, Claude, or DeepSeek. The reason you want to do this is because we want to use the AI model that already works a lot with you on a daily or weekly basis. It's going to know the most about what you're actually spending your time on, and that's really, really important. And now I'm going to walk you through this three-step prompt chain. When I say the term prompt chain, all I mean is it's a sequence of prompts that iteratively build upon the other. So you're going to start with the first prompt. Sometimes there are questions you have to answer or additional information you need to provide. And once you're happy with that, then you go to the next prompt, and then finally the third prompt. So this first prompt we're going to try is all about creating an inventory of where your time is going. What are all the activities you're actually doing on a regular basis that's eating up all of your time? And this first step is all about removing your personal bias and looking at your time and energy in an objective way, because we often hallucinate our own productivity, meaning we think we do a ton of high value work, but we actually aren't when we look at our own time. So this prompt will help you reflect your reality back to you so you can see your time leaks in black and white. Where is your time actually going? So here's the prompt. It's very simple. Based on everything you know about me, make an exhaustive bullet point list of everything I do. So now AI is going to reflect on your past conversations and literally make a list of all of the things you seem to be doing based on your interactions with AI. Now, you can add additional context here to get even better results. For example, if you have lots of meetings or you manage your calendar in a detailed way, you can drop in monthly calendar screenshots to give your AI tool even more context about where you're spending all your time. So go ahead and click this. Make sure you're on the latest ChatGPT model. I like to put it on extended thinking so that we get better results, and go ahead and submit the prompt. So on extended thinking, it'll take a couple of moments. Okay, and here's my list based on my interactions with ChatGPT. So it knows I'm running a SaaS product, building workflows, multi-platform publishing, affiliates and partnerships. Lately, I've been thinking about all of these different topics: marketing and growth, AI education as a content creator, product and design work, building, again, automations and tooling, data analytics. I'm setting up Post-Hog to understand how people are using my apps, and all of these other things that I'm doing. Okay, so exhaustive bullet point list. There's a lot going on here. And so the next step is, now that we have this really long list, we want to get a better understanding of how we should be prioritizing things. What are the top 3 activities that are actually driving the majority of my results? And this is called the Pareto principle. The 80-20 rule is kind of the colloquial nickname. Most people make the mistake, though, of asking AI for advice too early, which leads to generic answers. So in this prompt, we're going to actually make AI ask us clarifying questions and then share its confidence score in real time so you can get a sense of how it's thinking. So here's the prompt. What are my top 3 activities that drive 80% plus of my results? Ask me clarifying questions one at a time until you're 95% confident in your answer. always state your confidence score. Okay, so it's pretty normal at the beginning of this. AI's confidence score is going to be pretty low because it's still missing a lot of context. And so in this exercise, AI is going to keep asking you clarifying questions until AI is 95% confident in choosing the top three activities that drive your results. So here, for example, what specific results do you mean? Right? So what is the primary KPI I care about? Is it my revenue, trial signups? Is it my audience growth or revenue from affiliates? For the sake of this example, let's just say it's audience growth for my personal brand. Okay. So whatever questions it starts asking you, just go through them one by one. Primary KPI, audience growth for my personal brand. Then it asks me which platform should define audience growth. Like, do I care about a particular platform rather than others, which is a pretty solid question. For me, it's my email list. I view all social media, honestly, as advertising to be on my long form email list. The reason why is because as a creator, I own my email list, whereas my presence on social platforms is rented at the end of the day. In 5 years, one of these platforms may not be around, or your accounts may have issues, whatever it is, you don't own it. Then AI asked me for the last 90 days, okay, what were your top traffic sources into the email list by new subscribers? I actually was looking at this stat the other day, which is why I can say Instagram and TikTok. If you don't know the answer to a question, though, it's often worth the time to try and get that data, even if it's not perfect, even not if it's not completely comprehensive. It's often worth it to try and get that data so you can give AI an accurate reflection of your business or state. Okay, the next question is, well, what content format has produced the most email signups? To be fair, I don't experiment that much with carousels. I only do one live a week. So the format that has worked most for me would be talking head educational videos and not clips from my YouTube. Those actually don't perform very well for whatever reason, but natively filmed talking head videos. Okay, then AI asked me, well, what's the strong CTA you use to get email signups? Well, I actually don't use any CTA to drive people to my email list except follow me for more. And then I just have a link in bio. So this already is like a potential area that AI is probably going to suggest I optimize. Now it's trying to figure out TikTok versus Instagram, which is even more in terms of driving new email subscribers. For me, it's about 50-50. Next, it's asking, do you want the top three activities optimized for growing my audience on these platforms or converting into email subscribers, or both equally? Okay, so I said number 3. This is a really great question. And then ChatGPT finally has enough context to confidently say, here are the top 3 activities that are driving 80% plus of my most important KPI, which in the context of this conversation is number of followers plus email list growth. And here are my top 3 activities. Now we know the top 3 activities that are driving 80% plus of our results. The next and final prompt is to obtain clarity. It's the final step, and it's all about radical and ruthless prioritization. Knowing your top 3 activities isn't enough because exponential growth comes from extreme focus. So this prompt is going to help you identify that one activity, which makes all other tasks, goals, and outcomes 10 times easier to achieve. And this will cut through the noise, giving you one central focus. It's very simple. The prompt is, based on everything we discussed, what's the one thing I should focus on? And what's really interesting and a huge relief here is, like, based on all of my complex discussion with ChatGPT, not just in this conversation, but again, based on everything else it knows about me, it actually recommended something that's super simple to implement, but it believes with 95% confidence that this will drive the most results for my most important metric with my personal brand, which is growing my email list. Focus on adding one consistent email signup CTA to every single talking head video. Pick one line, repeat it every time. Link in bio, get your free AI resources there. Do this both on TikTok and Instagram for 30 days. And so this is ultimate clarity, extreme focus, one thing I can actually do on a daily basis to drive massive results. And keep in mind, the hardest part here is having the courage and conviction to ignore the 1,000 other things on your to-do list. Even though you know they're lower leverage, oftentimes maybe you enjoy doing them or you're competent in them, so it feels good to do those things, but they're lower leverage. I know it's really, really hard, even for me, me to stay focused on one thing. I'm far from perfect, right? But even small improvements in our focus over a long time horizon can compound into big gains. So it's worth striving for this level of focus, even if you are imperfect in achieving it. And I recommend, by the way, running this clarity prompt chain at least once a quarter just to ensure that you haven't drifted back into maintenance mode, trapped in doing busy work, but not really making any progress. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Good luck with your 2026 New Year's resolutions. And if you want more content like this, hit like, hit subscribe, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear from you.